Steve.
Buck, what'd you enjoy more, the Nimmo catch or the Timmy Trumpet live concert?
I like DeGrom's start too. It's good. I was just thinking if Nito hit the double, I think that way it would be nice for Nimmo to get an at-bat this inning. Kind of like the baseball guys. Kind of let him get up there. What a play. When you look at minor league players, one of the questions I ask, can they turn hits into outs? I never ask, can they turn home runs into outs? It's maybe I should. I don't have much to compare it to. Some of the guys talk about how much Nim has grown every year he's been here, and great play. Then you see Jake kind of take it to another level with the next hitter. But Jake was the difference in that game. Obviously, they've got a really good pitcher who's having a great year. I knew that coming in, and it was going to be, runs were going to be at a premium. Overlooked Marte. He saw a lot of change-ups at first at bat and made the adjustment and sat on it and got him.
With that Nimmo catch, you saw the type of reaction that he had immediately after it. Just, what does that show you about how much that moment meant to him and meant to the group?
Well, one thing about Nim, and we got a lot of them, he's very sincere. If he feels something, he's going to show it, and sometimes he wears some things that probably aren't productive to the club, consistency. So, Nim's a pro. He's very quietly establishing himself as a guy you can count on. You know what you're getting every day. We feel like it's not called. It's not meant to be called.
Andy. As you were watching that catch and Brandon go back, I understand that it's an almost impossible play, but did you get a feeling like he had a beat on it?
We've seen it a few times this year, not one quite with the reason it was tough was no hang time. It was pretty much, it didn't lay up there where you can get to the fence and time your jump, and sometimes if you do it right, use the fence to raise yourself a little bit. It was all a timing thing, and you played that center field so much. That's why I'm always been pushing for standardized warning tracks. Some warning tracks aren't as wide as others, which is silly. But our guys know, this ballpark, once you hit center, how many steps you got. And why they're not all uniform around baseball, I don't know. But some of it's got to do with some of the grandfather stuff. But it takes a lot of knowledge of your field and how many steps you got, and the timing. I think the toughest part of it didn't hang up there. He had to totally commit to it. It was a huge play. Edwin coming in there with all that, fanfare, and rightfully so. It's good for the fans love it, and I'm all for anything that the fans love, and for the most part. And the pressure to deliver in that part of the order with all that coming on is remarkable. Been doing it all year for us. Otto had a big inning. That's impressive.
Zach.
It's tough to follow, Jake. Okay, you're coming in there, but Jake I was good to get him through the seventh inning. That's the first, all the way through the seventh inning outing he's had. Is that enough?
Zach.
Buck, did it feel like October at all? Besides the fact it's warm, just the atmosphere.
Actually, the weather was perfect, I thought. It wasn't really sticky. Makes me wonder about what September is going to bring. A little bit, I'm fortunate enough to be in some of those situations, and I think a lot has to do with the quality of club we're playing to, and what's at stake for us, not necessarily for them, but they've earned the right to be able to do what they're doing, and we're still trying to earn, the division title.
Buck, you were in Baltimore in 2013 when Trout made that catch up against the wall. Just curious how you thought Nimmo's catch tonight might compare.
I'd have to go back through it. I'd like to know how much hang time he had. When you can get back there and time it, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a lot easier than the play Nim made. Nim was, the collision, are you going to jar the ball out? Because he's not, when you get back there and you go up, you don't have to worry about jarring the ball off the fence. I'd have to look back at Trout's, but they were both great catches.
Tony?
We got the update late on Beatty pregame. What is your expectation of what the rest of his year can or might look like?
Well, talking to the doctors and getting arms around it finally today, he's gonna have the surgery's planned in the next couple of days, and there is a possibility that he would make it back. The return on this is at a pretty high rate that, I don't wanna get into a lot of medical stuff, but, if you look through the years with this injury, you have a pretty good, success rate. And, we also think there's an outside possibility that he could return this season.
Buck, you mentioned the 7 innings with DeGrom, and that was the furthest he's gone so far since he's been back. Is that kind of the next frontier for him, just to really get that length? And now there's been up over 90 pitches a few times. And
Yeah, I think we're there. I mean, if you could tell me every pitcher was capable and could physically and execution-wise get 2-7 innings, I'd really, that's a luxury. Now, I thought tonight was one of the first times that Jake, he had a normal day leading up to it. He had a normal work day. He had a normal, not that he doesn't. He had, Jake's not the type of guy you have to tiptoe around the day starting. I mean, he wants you to engage him, but 6 innings, Jeremy just checked with him and said, I'm good. And he didn't ask out of the game after the 7th. He didn't come to us or anything. Just kind of beat him to it.
Tim?
Given the Beatty news, what is the plan at third base for the next little bit?
Well, we're still trying to decide. Obviously Gore was active tonight, and we've got some players that were traveling or did travel among guys we're considering to call up tomorrow. We'll obviously add 2 guys tomorrow. So Billy and I were just getting ready to start that and then finish it up, and Harold told me I was late.
John?
Made Billy really happy.
Just following up on DeGrom, did you think he was gassed, or was it just that he wasn't going 1-7 because he hasn't done it this year?
I don't think he was gassed. He didn't have any indications of that. It was our decision, my decision. It wasn't Jake. These aren't guys that ask out of games,
No, right, but I mean.
But it was the threshold he had gotten to for the first time this year, and he was working on extra days. Yet to be seen whether he'll be working on extra day next time out or not. A lot's got to do what we do in the next couple of days. Decide what we want to do with Pete. So no, he was at no point did I say, what do you think? I just don't think that's fair to him. I have, Jeremy does that sometimes. How you doing? Short conversation night. I'm good.
And what do you mean when you said you took it to the next level to get that last guy?
Well, I think when after the home run, you could tell even the lack of the home run that Nim took away. You can see Jake kind of step back, and I was looking at some of the velocities and some of the finish on his pitches. Not that they weren't there, but he was in. Okay, I'm emptying the tank here, and you try to read that sometimes when you're looking at pitchers. You can tell when they're emptying the tank, and that's kind of where they are. I thought as hitter after, I actually thought Nemo's catch kind of elevated his game a little bit in a time where he might have been getting a little weary. I can't say he was, but I thought the exhilaration of that catch kind of got rejuiced.
Tyler?
Such a word. What happened?
Well, as soon as you sat down, you said that was a great game, and it was. I mean, you've seen thousands of games.
Who said? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What makes a game like that just fun besides winning? And do you take a second just to savor it? Like,
I think if Mike Puma was here, it's because of the length of the game.
Yeah.
For everybody here, but I gotta tell you, when we have a full house and, I want the hot dogs to be hot, I want the beer to be cold, I want the parking not to be a problem, I want them to leave here and go, boy, that was worth it, and I wanna come again. And, we have a responsibility to put on be ready to play. And that's my first thought was, if I went to this game tonight and I got in the car and went home, that was fun. And that's what it should be. And they picked us over the US Open. They may have doubled up. I guess you could double up, couldn't you? That's a long time. Travel-wise, it hasn't been good for Buck. So I earned 15 today, and that's the shortest it's been in the last 3 days. Anybody care? Y'all all got a tail of woe, right? But how many's that Spain hold over there?
20-something,
Well, they have a bunch of different, they have like multiple stadiums.
The biggest one, what's it hold?
23, I think.
Really? I need to go to tennis. I haven't ever been to a professional tennis match.
Tomorrow night after the game.
I watched the ping pong in here and it's getting pretty good. We had, in Baltimore one time, we had the Japanese or Chinese junior ping pong team come in. And our guys, J.J. Hardy's best ping pong player I've had, he refused to play them after watching them. They were unbelievable. There's a different level. I'm sorry, anything else?
I think that's a
You ever
good way
seen
to
a
end
pro
it.
ping pong? Are you kidding
One
me?
quick note, Tyler McGill will throw one inning in Binghamton tomorrow.